The start of the 2025 season has seen nothing short of JGR dominating the airwaves. When you look at it, Chase Briscoe has been the biggest free agent signing heading into the season, and he won the pole for the Daytona 500, and he had a massive penalty that was then appealed, and the appeal was won. Christopher Bell followed that up with 3 consecutive wins in races 2 through 4, and seems like it's his coming out party. It is his year to be the most dominant guy. And Denny Hamlin just landed a major sponsorship with Progressive Insurance, and it's something that has really been pushed out there a lot when it comes to him not having a sponsorship after FedEx, and now he does. And then there's Ty Gibbs. Ty Gibbs has been the one lagging behind in every aspect. Headlines, performance, everything. And Gibbs' last 26 races have been nothing short of staggeringly bad. In 26 starts, he's of course not gotten his first win. He has 4 top 5s, 4 top 10s, 108 laps led, and a 22nd place average finish. He has had more DNFs in that time than top 10, 6-4, and 8 finishes of 30th or worse, 7 since the Roval race last year. At this point in 2024, Ty Gibbs was 3rd in the points. After COTA that week, he'd sit 2nd in the points, only 5 markers behind the leader, Martin Truex Jr. In Xfinity, he had 11 wins in his 51 starts when he went basically full-time, proving he was worthy of going to Cup. He won the 2022 Xfinity Championship, too, with a 9th place average finish. Ideally, he really also added a lot to the Cup Series. As a villain, look at what he did back and forth at Martinsville with Brandon Jones. He looked set to have a great career. So why is he so bad now? Why has he fallen off so much? Well, I don't think there's one particular reason why, because so much has changed in the last 26 races in the NASCAR Cup Series. Partially, it's his crew chief. This year, his crew chief is a rookie, and that might not be something that helps in Ty Gibbs' advantage. Why? Because a young or rookie crew chief might not be able to properly handle a young and volatile driver, and the hassle of that as well as running a team. Having those growing pains, not only for the driver, but also the crew chief, having to learn everything for the first time anew, that has to be playing a role. But you see, that's just 2025. It's not like this is the same person that was on the box last year. There has been a slow start, obviously. The pace is off. And when the pace is off and stuff doesn't go right, it's abysmal, it's atrocious, it's all of those things. And that's what 2025 has been. Slow pace, bad luck, terrible results. But in 2024, what about that? Well, in those 21 races to end the year or so, there were 2 that were early crashes. Sonoma and Phoenix, where he crashed on lap number 1. That can't really be something that we push too much, just because while some of it might have been driver mistake, that early in the race, you don't know what the performance could have been. 2 of those others were engine issues. The Roval last year that started this current terrible streak, and Pocono, which in a lot of ways sort of cemented him going from a top 10 driver to a driver that is on that cut line and going to be battling the entire regular season on the cut line. So that's 4 races. 4 others were top 5 runs. Chicago at a road course, Michigan, a 2-mile D-shaped oval, Daytona, a super speedway, and Kansas, a 1.5-mile intermediate track. And he's shown real speed. So what about the other 12 to 13 races in 2024 that he's been in a big slump? The other ones that he hasn't DNF'd in or he hasn't had a top 5 in? Well, those are the interesting ones to me, because I think those tell the true tale of all of the tape here. To start with, 2 of those were super speedway races, 17th at Atlanta and 13th at Talladega, 2 of the better ones. And you can look at that in 2 ways, I think, as well. You could look at it as this: those were the better of the bad runs, meaning that, yeah, Gibbs can only really pop up when it's a super speedway and everything's evened up. Or you can look at it like this, too. He had a top 5 at Daytona, and with that, he could have easily, with a couple different moves, been up front at Atlanta and Talladega. He's shown that speed before, so a couple bad moves added into a time where he's already not getting the greatest cars or the greatest luck That also adds into it as well. One of the other big issues is speed wearing down late in races or poor strategy from the team. Races like the Brickyard, Southern 500 in Las Vegas, he had fast cars before either bad pit calls or issues out there. Nashville, before the 5 overtimes, he was in the top 5 even after a spin early in the race. The 54 car had speed at least, and Gibbs was able to capitalize on it until things went wrong. So those 4 races off the bat could have changed entirely how we viewed the end of his season. Yes, since the Roval it's been bad for the most part, but Vegas could have definitely been a bright spot had they not had pit road issues. Darlington could have been a bright spot had they been on the best tire strategy and not collected in a wreck. Indianapolis, the same thing when it comes to just having the right strategy and not having many mistakes. Many more, though, unfortunately, were because there was no real speed in the 54 Toyota. That's where I think the major issues are showing. JGR slowed down at the end of last year. Until Bell won those 3 races in a row, it had been a long time since Joe Gibbs Racing was in victory lane for their standards. And Ty Gibbs, I think, suffered the most. Now, with the changes that have been had, there's no momentum. There's nothing to carry over, and Gibbs is also going to be floundering. And don't think that this means that Ty Gibbs is off the hook either. The driver is the one in control of the cars. He is putting those cars in worse positions at times, and that's also why he falls back. But sometimes when the car literally has to have the crew go under the hood to change stuff, like at Las Vegas this past week, it's not just the driver, it's also the team. All together, from the team to those that are preparing the cars to the driver himself, the entire team is faltering. So what happened to Ty Gibbs? I think a multitude of different things all at once with a young, inexperienced driver that doesn't know how to handle them. A slowdown over time of Joe Gibbs Racing, bad luck, and also putting yourself in bad positions. All in all, he's in a big major slump. Now, I think the comparisons to drivers like Jason Leffler and JJ Yaley at Gibbs to me are overblown because Ty Gibbs has a huge amount of talent in NASCAR. He's a proven winner and champion in the Xfinity Series, and in the first half of the Cup Series in 2024, he was a top 5 to 10 driver. With the cars underneath him, much like I'd say just about any other driver in Cup outside of maybe the best 5 or 6, he can do the best things with the best equipment. He had the best equipment, and he showed that in the Xfinity Series. Others have that kind of equipment and can't win. He won a ton, but he doesn't have it anymore, and he needs to adapt, and that team needs to adapt. I personally think that they'll be able to turn it around. I think that Gibbs is too good of an organization, and the driver is too talented not to turn it around at some point. So now I want to know what you think. Do you think Ty Gibbs turns it around, or is he just another Austin Dillon type of driver that people are going to look at as someone who was handed a ride and nothing more? Let me know down in the comments below. While you're at it, leave a like on this video, share this video, and subscribe to this channel for more great and fun NASCAR content. Thank you so much to all my channel members for your continued support, and until next time, have a good one.